Alrighty guys, Eddie from Arizona Archery Club here. Just wanted to talk to you guys about a little service that we offer. It's called our dry fire inspection. So anytime that a bow is derailed, dry fired, if you're buying a used bow online, or if you have someone that you're buying a bow from in town, you're able to bring a bow by and have us do a full dry fire inspection. So a dry fire inspection is $25. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go through the whole bow and check everything over. So making sure the limbs aren't cracked, make sure axles aren't bent, cams aren't bent, mods, checking the strings and cables. So in this bow in particular, this is a Matthews Phase 4. This bow was shot with a broken knock. As the customer shot, the energy went into the knock, blew the knock up. The rest of the energy just went back into the bow. Instead of propelling the arrow, the energy is going back and caused this bow to derail. So we'll do a full inspection on this bow. I'm going to walk you through that process. If you guys have any questions at the end, just hit us up on Instagram and we'll go from there. All right, so we're going to bring you guys to the back here. This bow is still in detention, so it's very important to make sure if if this happens to your bow at home, make sure you don't start sticking your fingers in there and start moving strings around, because if one of those strings pops and your string's in a cam or something, that's not going to feel good. So bring it in, be very, very careful. Try to put it in a case or just put it in even a towel and just wrap it up, put it in the back seat and come on over here. We're gonna get this bow in the press, get the strings off. We'll start to break down all the parts and pieces and see what we can find on it. This is very important, especially just going through a full service like this. Like I said, we charge you $25 for a dry fire inspection. That $25 will go towards any labor, parts and pieces that we have to do. It's just covering our time to do the actual inspection. So if the cost outweighs the cost of the actual bow to get it repaired, then you're out $25 and that's it. But you have peace of mind at that point, knowing 100% like these are the parts and pieces that are gonna get your bow back to factory spec. So let's put it in the press and get going on that. All right. So we're just going to get this bow into a safe working condition, get some tension off of this stuff and just take it apart. Matthews are super easy, so just pull these axles out. So already just looking at it, I know we're going to need a string set, and then we'll start checking all these other parts and pieces. There's our axle. Bottom cam. Yokes are all torn up, which will add a little bit of B-roll to show you those little tears. Always look at these roller guards too, because sometimes if something propels forward, that's right where the arrow is going to be traveling. So sometimes we'll get a lot of dings on there. Top cam, top axle. And don't be afraid to tell us what happens. Like, it's a lot easier for us to diagnose something if you say, hey, like, this is exactly what happened, instead of us having to kind of poke and prod some of that information out of our customers. So our customers are really good. We're straightforward with them. They're straightforward with us. So as long as you just tell us, hey, this is what happened, it definitely gives me a better idea of what we need to do to get you back up and running and in a safe spot. So this is all done. We're in a safe spot now. We will take the tension off these limbs nice and easy. All right, we are safe. So try not to lose a limb. I'm gonna take you guys over to where we check the axles and stuff. So these are the axles that came out of the bow. We're gonna check these. I know for a fact this one's bent, so I will show you / let you hear what we're looking for when we're checking this stuff. So pull out these little screws and washers. So I know a lot of places will do a rough inspection on stuff, but I know they don't do a full breakdown like this. So it's always very highly recommended to make sure everything on the bow is getting inspected, not just the cams, like anything visual. Yeah, you can see that stuff easy, you know, it's bent or broken, whatever. This stuff is very important to check. So we'll take this mic off, set it right here, see if you can hear it. So we're just gonna roll this on something super flat. So piece of glass, piece of granite, piece of metal. So let's take a listen. So rolls good. Checking to make sure there's no bends. That one's good. Also good. Okay, so these are good. We know this one's bent. We'll let you hear this one. So I don't know if you can hear that. And you can also see it when it's rolling. Definitely a bent axle. Okay, so these two are good. Don't need new axles on this bow. That was dry fired. So we're safe there. So let's go back over to the bench top. We will check the cams and the mods and everything else. Back to the bench top. So at this point, checked strings and cables. We know we need new strings and cables there. We're gonna take this machinist scale, which is basically just a ruler, to check the cams and the mods for any bends. So visually, like looking at this cam, it doesn't look bent, but we don't know until we actually put a straight edge to it. And this is one of the things where I'm saying definitely take it to someone that's going to do a full inspection like this, just because you don't know until you actually try it. So hot spots that we really want to check are the connection points for the cam, or the cam to the string, to the yokes, all that stuff. So we'll start to do this. We're just kind of going through, visually checking the tracks, make sure there's no any dings in there. I'm just checking to see if there's any space between this scale and the cam. Also kind of wobble it a little bit and see if this is teetering, then we know that's not a flat surface and there's some damage on there. Of course, these are all machined parts, so especially trustworthy brands like Matthews, Hoyt, PSE, Elite, Bowtech, everything that we carry here, their parts and pieces are coming back straight to us. So in here, this connection point, you can see that wobble in there. So this is definitely a bent cam. So that's on the outside of it. If I take this, put that against there, I can see a gap between those 2 points of contact. So that's going to be the connection point where your cable comes onto the cam. So definitely a new cam for the top. We'll do the same thing for the bottom. Mods were looking good. I'll take those off the actual cam and check that stuff as well. There's just so much force going into these bows. that if that energy is not going into the arrow and propelling that arrow, then that energy has to go somewhere. Got a good ding on that cam. So same exact spot as the other one. Put it up to the mic, you can hear it. So 2 cams and a string set. So like I said, this stuff is very important. Doing these dry fire inspections, visually you can look at a bow and be like, oh yeah, it looks fine, new strings and cables, out the door, right? That's not how we operate business here. So we prefer to do a full dry fire inspection, go over everything down to the micron, right? So checking that stuff, then calling the customers, letting them know costs, repairs. That $25 will go towards those costs and repairs too, so you're not losing out on that. We only keep that money if you proceed with just not repairing the bow. So it's just to cover our time to do this stuff. So if you guys have any questions, if you're buying a bow online or from one of your buddies and you want us to do an inspection, bring it in. Like I said, it's $25. Drop the bow off. Something we could get done within a couple days, just depending on how many bows we have on the board to get built. Then we'll take care of all that stuff, and then you know for 100% sure, like, this bow is in perfect operating condition. If you have any questions, hit us up on Instagram, give the shop a call. We'll see you guys around. Have a good one.